Oh, that's some good shit. This is NoWintertodt, my efficient Ironman account. I say efficient in quotes because true efficiency would probably be immediately doing Wintertodt to 99 firemaking, then unlocking barbarian fishing and doing that all the way to 99. However, not only does that sound incredibly boring, it would also take around 300 hours to get to that point. Instead, this route maximizes efficiency as much as possible from the very beginning through overlapping quests and diary tests to level up, while simultaneously unlocking various transport methods and aiming to minimize both skill and gold grinding wherever possible. I'm aware the OSRS wiki has an optimal quest guide, but I specifically chose not to look it up when creating my route, partly because I believe it was made for standard accounts with no trade restrictions, but mainly because I wanted to challenge myself by creating a route based on my own knowledge of the game, one that capitalized on more than just quests.
Welcome. Continuing on from where we left off, it's time to do the Waterfall quest. Remember to have 6 earth, water, and air runes, as well as your 2 ropes, Glaria's Pebble, some food, and Boots of Lightness. When you get outside the crypt, make sure you drop your Boots of Lightness and the runes and the ropes, because otherwise it will not allow you to enter the crypt, then go down into the dungeon. When you're running east, you want to make sure that you attack a zombie or skeleton so that the moss giants can't attack you, because they will hit up to 14 with both melee and magic. You'll see that I do the drop trick method to get a few extra amulets, and this is because in the past you needed the amulet itself to enter the Waterfall dungeon, but it seems that there was an update at some point that made it so you no longer need the amulet, so just get one, and then after the quest, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Then go south to continue the quest by grabbing the urn, try to get a skeleton to attack you here, and then on the way back as well, which you can see I get hit 14 by the moss giant's melee, so that's really why you want to make sure the skeleton can attack you, since they do a lot less damage. After getting the amulet in the urn, go back north to the waterfall to continue the quest. Once inside, go east to grab the key from the crate, then go west to unlock the door and head into the tomb. Use your air, earth, and water runes on each of the posts, then put the amulet on Glariel's statue, and don't take the treasure from the chalice, but use the urn on the chalice to complete the quest, giving us 1 quest point, 13,750 strength and attack experience, which bumps us up to 44 attack and 30 strength, as well as 2 diamonds and 2 gold bars, which will likely become Rings of Life in the far future, and then 40 mithril seeds. I know that you used to be able to use mithril seeds to bypass the puzzle trap in Underground Pass, however I believe they patched it out, but I'll have to check that. After finishing up Waterfall Quest, we're going to home teleport to Lumbridge, head up to the bank, and prepare for another few quests. Going to pull out our best armor, and don it so we can fight the demon for Demon Slayer, and then pull out some wines and cakes for food, as well as all our mind and air runes, because I'm going to go get another set of 30 starter runes in a moment, as well as our cash, a hatchet to use the canoes, and the scrying orb. You'll notice that I also pull out the hammer and stake for Vampire Slayer. However, I decide to take a detour later, so we'll actually bank one more time before doing Vampire Slayer, so it's not necessary at the moment. Now let's go grab those 30 starter runes, and then head to the canoe, take it north, and prepare for the most dangerous boss fight we've had yet. Oh, you thought I meant this big red pushover? Nah, it's this asshole right here. This guy almost ruined my day. Every time I go to attack the demon, he'd just sit there and camp and snipe me with his little earth strike. Made it a pain in the ass. But we got it done, and in doing so paved the way to do Shadow of the Storm once we finished the golem. And it gave us 5 more kudos for the Varrock Easy Diary. After that, we're going to head north into town, and then to the east to buy some more runes, as we're running pretty low right now. You'll notice that I bought the pre-scout set for the Biohazard quest, however, that's optional at this point, as we will be coming back to Varrock at least once more, prior to needing the robes for the quest. Afterward, head southeast to the Mage of Zamorak and turn in the Abyss mini quest for 1,000 runecrafting experience, which gets us to level 9. Not only does that bump us past the very early levels for runecrafting, which are very slow, it also means that because we have level 5, we can craft water runes, which is required for the Lumpy Easy Diary. Now, since we don't have a talisman, we'll probably have to farm the water elemental wizards to the west of Port Sarim, as they have a 1 in 20 drop. But it also means that because we have level 9, we can craft earth runes. which is important for the Varrock Easy Diary, and we did get an Earth Talisman from farming the men in Edgeville for the bones for Demon Slayer, so we can do that whenever we roll in the Lumberyard diary tasks as well. Alright, so next up on the list is heading to Draynor to finish Vampire Slayer, which will unlock the Nightmare Zone minigame teleport. However, the intention afterward is to get dyes in Draynor, so I need to make sure that I have enough red berries to do so, otherwise I'll have to pick more south of Varrock before heading there. So I detour a bit to the bank, pull out the supplies to make the red berry pie for the Knight's Sword, head to the range southwest of the bank, and it actually takes me 4 or 5 pies, which leaves me with exactly enough red berries to make the dyes I need. So it is smart that I ended up doing this now. Before leaving Varrock, make sure you have your steak, hammer, and garlic, and then head southwest past the Champions Guild, over the stepping stones, and then into the manor to kill Count Draynor. Finishing the quest gives us 3 more quest points and 4,800 attack experience, which unfortunately is not enough to get another level at this point. However, like I mentioned, it does unlock the Nightmare Zone minigame teleport. After heading upstairs, go east to leave the manor, and on the way pick up a bronze med helm for Black Knight's Fortress, then head south into Draynor. Once at the bank, pull out your coins, 6 to 9 red berries depending on how many you have left, 8 onions and 6 woad leaves. Then go north to Aggie and get 2 to 3 red dyes depending on your red berries, as well as 4 yellow dyes and 3 blue dyes for a variety of quests. You'll notice that we have exactly 500 coins left, which is what we got from the Clock Tower quest, so I think it's really good that we roped that in, otherwise we'd be dirt poor right now. Before leaving Draynor, I'm going to pull out the 4 beads for Imp Catcher and go turn that in. It does give 875 magic experience, which is nice, but it also gives the Amulet of Accuracy, which is the best defensive amulet we're going to have for some time. It only gives +4 to all attack styles, but until we get a Amulet of Magic, Strength, or Power, which will be for some time, it's the best we got. After that, we're going to head back to Draynor Bank and prepare for the next section. In my case, I'm going to pull out my beginner clue scroll that we got from X marks the spot because it tells me to go back to Brian in Port Sarim. You'll also want your Boots of Lightness, Bronze Med Helm, Iron Chain Body, and Cabbage to do Black Knight's Fortress, as well as your blue dye and orange dye for Goblin Diplomacy, and the brooch to continue Lost Tribe. Alright, so we're popping on over to Port Sarim to turn in the beginner clue scroll, which gives us a casket, and opening it we get a hunk of trash. But that's okay since I wasn't really expecting much from the beginner clue scroll anyway. Afterward, we're going to head north to Falador to start the Black Knight's Fortress quest, which I should have started when I came here for the Knight's Sword. Just for whatever reason I had no mention of it at all in the route that I've been working on, but I was planning to do Recruitment Drive, so gotta fit it in. Then go north, do Black Knight's Fortress to completion, head south to the Dwarven Mine, talk to Nolodian to get the supplies to take back to Captain Logoff for Dwarf Cannon, then head all the way over to Goblin Village, and while there, complete both Goblin Diplomacy. You can find the goblin mail you need in 3 crates around the camp, and then immediately after, continue the Lost Tribe quest. Finishing Goblin Diplomacy will get us 5 quest points, 200 crafting experience, which does bump us up to level 7, as well as a gold bar, which will be helpful for making most likely a Games Necklace or Amulet of Magic later on. Head back to Falador and Bank. Before we do Recruitment Drive, we're going to go south to Rimington a bit in order to do Witch's Potion and continue the Knight's Sword, and pick some snake grass for the hangover cure for Plague City quest. So, pull out your Eye of Newt, burnt meat, onion, coins, and red berry pie, a little food just to be safe since we'll be running past some hobgoblins, then head south to the peninsula near the crafting guild. While there, we're going to pick up 10 or so snake grass. We only need 1 for the hangover cure right now, but in the future when we get some Ranars and level 38 Herblore, and we can make a few prayer potions, it'll be helpful to just have that secondary ingredient already. After you get those, continue on to Rimington, and while there, start the Witch's Potion, go west to the house and kill the rat. You have to start the quest first, otherwise it won't drop the rat's tail. Go back and turn the quest for the small amount of magic experience, and then go to the crafting store to purchase a ring, necklace, and amulet mold. We don't really need a bracelet mold right now, and if desired, you could buy a sickle mold. However, we will be an all card at some point prior to needing the sickle mold for Nature Spirit. Then we're going to head east to Thurgo to continue the Knight's Sword, followed by going back to Falador to bank at the East Bank. And here I combine the milk, chocolate dust, and snapegrass to create the hangover cure so that we can save inventory spaces later. Then I'm going to pull out the copper and tin ore, which we will smelt at the furnace on the way to the castle into a bronze bar. We need that bronze bar for the observatory quest, and this is the best furnace on the way. And then afterward, we are going to go to the castle, talk to the squire, then go upstairs and steal the portrait to continue Knight's Sword. Now we're going to bank at the East Bank once more before heading back to Thurgo's Peninsula. So pull out your armor, boots of lightness, gnome amulet, some food, as well as your 2 iron bars and a pickaxe to mine the blurite.
Nice.
Then head south to the Ice Dungeon, mine 2 blurite ores, 1 for the Knight's Sword, 1 to smith blurite limbs at Doric's Anvil for the Falador Easy Diary task. Then go give the bars and ore to Thurgo, get the Knight's Sword, then go turn it back in and finish the quest. Finishing the quest gives us a stellar nearly 13,000 smithing experience, bumping us all the way up to 29, which means we now are able to do Elemental Workshop 1, and finishing that will bump us past 30, so we can immediately do the second one once we start the quest, whilst doing the dig site. Then head west and up the stairs to turn in Black Knight's Fortress at Ceramic Forest, and immediately start Recruitment Drive. I did forget that Black Knight's Fortress rewards 2500 GP, so we will have to bank again since you can't take anything with you during Recruitment Drive, but that takes a couple seconds and then we can do that quest from start to finish. After banking, go to the Falador Park and do Recruitment Drive from start to finish. Finishing the quest gives us 1000 prayer experience, bumping us up to 14, 1000 herb lore, bumping us up to 10, almost 11, and 1000 agility, which doesn't quite get us a level. And eventually, once we get 20 defense, we can wear the Initiate Sallet, which is the same bonuses as a Mithril Full Helm, but with the prayer bonus of a Helm of Nature's Knot, which I think is +3. Also, the level 10 herb lore is important because now it means we can start the dig site quest. You'll also want to make sure that you talk to Certification again and switch your respawns because it will automatically switch you to Falador. Being a hardcore Ironman, we're not really focused on dying, but if it happens, Lumbridge is still better than Falador. Since we're going back to Lumbridge to continue and finish the Lost Tribe quest, I decide to pull my Mines and Air runes out of the bank before home teleporting, and then running north to get another set of starter runes, which I calc out to be 228 GP per set, which at this point in the run is still pretty significant, especially given how many times we can loop it in. Head up to the bank and pull out your lit candle as well as a tinderbox and food for safety, then head through the mine, do your goblin emotes, then head back to continue the quest. After finding the ham robes in Sigmund's chest, you'll actually want to put them on, as when you're thieving from ham members, the more ham gear you're wearing, the least likely you are to get thrown out, which is not only annoying, but also a waste of time. In preparing to go to the ham hideout, you'll want to pull out your boots of lightness and ham robes, as well as some cakes. I grabbed 12, which was actually way more than enough. You really only need 6 to 8 because of how fast your inventory fills up. Head west out of the castle toward the ham hideout, pick the lock and go down, and then search the crate before the first door that you see for the silverware to continue the Lost Tribe. And then we're going to spend about 12 to 15 minutes thieving ham members until we can get some coins, a steel pickaxe hopefully, perhaps an easy clue scroll, some buttons to polish for animal magnetism, and hopefully some coal so that we can save 67 GP each when we need to buy them for Elemental Workshop, as we don't yet have the mining level to mine coal. And then we'll also hopefully get some other hand robes for Death to the Dorgeshan because you need 2 full sets. There's also the chance of getting some opals and jades. The jades in particular are useful for making necklaces of passage, which will speed up doing some desert quests like the Golem, Spirits of the Elid, and Shadow of the Storm. And one of the main things we need here to finish off the RD Easy Diary are the Rusty Swords, which you can take to the Tyndall Merchant by the fishing trawler, trade him that with 100 coins, and then you'll get a sword of some sort out of it. There is a chance to fail, so it's best to get 2 or 3, otherwise we'll have to come back and do the same thing over again. We finish about 12 minutes later with a thieving level, a couple pieces of coal, a couple spare steel axes, a couple steel pickaxes, some daggers to sell later, as well as a couple of rusty swords, and an easy clue scroll, and almost a full set of ham robes. Continue the Lost Tribe all the way to completion, which gives us 3,000 mining experience, bumping us past the requirement for Elemental Workshop, as well as a Ring of Life, which will be handy to save our skin in case we almost lose our hardcore status. Then we're going to head up and bank, pull out our coins, boots of lightness, stuff for Dwarf Cannon, and a spade, as well as some cakes for safety. Then minigame teleport to Barbarian Assault, run all the way south to turn in the Dwarf Cannon quest, which gives us 750 crafting experience, as well as the ability to eventually use a Dwarf Cannon. However, that does cost 750k, which is quite a bit. We're then going to head northeast, and prior to jumping the log shortcut, we're actually going to talk to Stankers to get several free poison chalices now. You can drink these and they have a myriad of effects, and assuming each effect has an equal chance of occurring, it has a 2 in 7 chance of boosting crafting by 1, which will be helpful for getting 41 to 42 crafting to make a fishbowl helmet for the Pirate Pete subquest of RFD. After getting half an inventory or so, we're going to go to the log balance southeast and cross it, satisfying an easy Kindarin diary requirement, then heading up and around to enter McGregor's Wood, then go to the west to check the vines and then use our spade on it to get at least 3 vine worms. We do need them for fishing contest, but they are also a potential item requirement for the fairy tale quest. Remember that if you didn't get dwell berries at the gnome grocery store, they do spawn here. So we're almost at the point of doing Elemental Workshop, but we need coal for the quest, and since we don't have level 30 mining, we're going to go up to Keldagrim to unlock the blast furnace to be able to buy the coal for 67 GP each. So head all the way up there, talk to the Dwarven Boatman after you get into the cave, watch an incredibly long cutscene, start the giant dwarf quest to unlock blast furnace, and if your minigame teleport is up, you can now minigame teleport to blast furnace. If it's still on cooldown, just walk east, buy the coal that you need. Remember that I got 2 from ham members. Then bank everything except for your coins, boots of lightness, and a pot. Then head back out of Keldagrim and go to the Sinclair Mansion to do Murder Mystery Quest. When heading to Sears Village Pub during the quest, make sure you buy a stew from the bartender as it satisfies an easy Kindarin diary task. Finishing the quest gives us another 3 quest points, 2,000 coins, and 1406 crafting experience, which bumps us up to level 16. To get it up higher, we will be doing a little bit of flax spinning into bowstrings, and then observatory quest. The big reason we're doing some crafting grinding on top of questing is so that we can reach level 30. Technically 31, because Shadow of the Storm requires 30, Lost City requires 31, and we need a skill to be at least level 30 before we can use diary lamps on it, and once we get our Arty Cloak 1, we'll have a diary lamp to use. And Herblore won't be 30 for a while, so I think it's best used on crafting right now. We're going to finish up this episode by going to Camelot Castle to start Merlin's Crystal, and then next time we're going to be getting several diary tasks done, some fishing levels from fishing contests, some crafting and smithing from Elemental Workshop, some mining from Plague City, and then we'll also be doing Biohazard so that we can finish the Arty Easy Diary and finally get the Cape and Lamp. See you next time.